I had originally recorded this episode way back just before COVID hit, and it got put on the back burner. As many of the listeners know, I am extremely passionate about making sure people that are injured and in pain get access to the best quality soft tissue treatment in the world, so they don't end up like my dad and dead from a pain pill overdose. There's a faction of practitioners out there that I think is almost as dangerous as the pill-pushing doctors, the pain science group. I've had numerous run-ins with them over the years, and their ideology is downright destructive. Recently, I had the unfortunate encounter with one of these pain science zealots, and I figured now was a good time to finally release my take on the pain science movement. You'll hear in my voice, in the liberal use of some choice words, just how much I am against these people and why you should be too. Definitely don't listen to this one with any kids around. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello to everybody out there. What am I on? Is this 87? I think this might be 88. Let me see. Is it 88? Yes. All right. So this one's going to be a tad bit profanity laced. I'm going to really speak from the heart and just give my honest assessment and opinion of what I call complete jackwagon, amateur, dangerous, and just really shitty practitioners out there. There's my first swear word. Good. Now we're rolling. Practitioners out there that have created the pain science movement or the pain science, whatever the hell they want to call it. So those of you that aren't familiar with the pain science movement, in a nutshell, their big thing is that the majority of your pain is usually in your head, it's emotional, and they completely disregard pathology. So what's pathology? Pathologies are real things that you can see. Some of the pathologies that we see is disc injuries, cartilage damage, muscle tears, what else? Scar tissue, inflammation. These jackasses have created a whole movement about the idea that those things don't matter, that they're not pain generators, that whatever's on your MRI doesn't matter. You're not your MRI. Like, I see these bullshit memes all the time from these jackasses like, oh, you're not your MRI. It's more than that. It's all in your head. And the reason I'm so fired up about this was I had a 22-year-old patient come in a couple weeks ago, and I felt really bad for this person. Chronic pain, getting beat up, clearly had signs of disc injuries, scar tissue, inflammation, everything like that. And this poor girl had seen everybody, massage, chiros, PT, primary care, even an ortho. And she eventually, after coming across some pain science articles, convinced herself that her problem was all in her head. And I felt so bad for her because this is what's out there. This is what's out there in the literature, in the world, where everyone out there is a fucking expert in whatever they want to be. And these pain science guys are awful. They totally disregard. So their thing is, if you've had a problem and it's been more than 12 weeks and it's chronic, that it has nothing to do with the tissue, nothing to do with inflammation, nothing like that. And you should just work through that problem and get moving. These are the same people where you have people that have massive degeneration in their back. Shown on an MRI, they're telling them to deadlift as much as they can because all they're doing is they're just fear avoiding that. And if they do that, they're going to be much better. Are you fucking kidding me? And we wonder why we're in a pain pill epidemic and we're having the problems that are going on there. Now, these people are even worse because what they do is what I call them, what is the word I'm thinking of? These are the people that love to cherry pick research. They'll take one research article and say, well, there you go, that's what it is, and try to make it correlated for everything. And their main line always is whenever they're bashing any system or treatment or technique or what you do, they go, where's your research? Where's your research? Where's your research? And I write back and I say, where the fuck is your research? And then in a clinical setting. Because you know what happens with these people and why they struggle so much? And then you know what they do? they start bashing hands-on treatment, specifically soft tissue treatment, massage therapists and people like us that are soft tissue specialists. They go, oh, manual treatment doesn't work. It's all a placebo. No, it doesn't, you fucking asshole. What it really does, it does work, but it's by people that are dedicated and that are good at what they do and they put time in. These are the people that went to a seminar over a weekend and did some soft tissue training and come back and they're like, well, I'm not good at it. And they haven't put any time in. Instead of just being like, you know what, it does work, but I'm not willing to put the time in, what they start doing is bashing soft tissue therapy and hands-on treatment. And they say, well, that doesn't work. And this study showed this and this study showed that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Musculoskeletal research is complete bullshit. There are so many factors involved with it. And all these studies they do all the time, they always show the same correlation. And they say, it doesn't really matter what you do because it doesn't work. And it's a placebo effect regardless. So it must be in people's heads. But the problem that they run into is the people doing these studies, they suck at the treatment. They're not good. And the ones that are really good, like you that are listening to this podcast and me, we're not doing research because we're busy. We have busy clinics. We have busy practices. We're out there actually in the shit and getting stuff fixed. But these people, and you'll see them, they come across all the time. They'll pop up. I get it all the time. Whenever I would comment in a forum, you always knew when a pain science person would come in. You know how you recognize these people? They start right away with like, well, where's your research? Where's your research? And those are what I call ask holes. You know what an ask hole is? Similar to an asshole, but they're an ask hole because they ask a bunch of questions, but they really don't want to know the answer. They're just trying to poke the bear and prod at you and try to get you pissed off and fired up. But the thing is, this is so dangerous. These people, oh my gosh, you can feel my frustration coming out in all this because I'm just so sick of these people and they're awful. And all they do is bash, 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 and they tell people that all the pain is in their head. Then you create a whole other movement of these emotional coaches or these therapists that you pay them lots of money and they'll just talk you through your pain and you'll be good to go. So it's created a whole new level of absurdity or jackassery, as I call it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's the other end of that, especially the orthopedic surgeons and things like that, where they say everything is based off your MRI and based off the findings of that, and that's where all your pain is coming from. There's a gray area. It's in the middle. Yes, disc injuries, pathology, muscle tears, cartilage damage are a big problem, but there's also other problems involved in that. Inflammation, a tissue problem, lots of other things, and you have to be in this gray area. It's almost like politics. It's like you're either on one side or the other, but no, the sane people live in the middle and respect pathology, but also know that that's not everything. So if you've encountered one of these people, don't engage with them. They love taking you down that path of, I'm so smart and I read all these research articles, yet they don't have anything to show. It's like, so what is that patient supposed to do? Say they show up in that person's office and be like, well, it's all in your head. That's it. I feel bad for their patients. I feel bad for their clients. Feel bad for their clients and don't engage with them. Just feel bad for those people. And if you're listening to this and you're one of those pain science people or you're in my Facebook group and you're a pain science person, get out. You're not going to like what I have to say. But you know what? I live in reality. I don't live in a damn fantasy world. This stuff just has to stop. And you have to just interpret what is going on and what people are saying. Like, it's dangerous. And when these people come out of the woodworks, do not engage with them because they love it. They love conflict, they love drama, and they love letting you know all of these papers and all this research they read. And they'll bash you all the time and bash your systems and all that. But you know what? Your job is to get so good with your treatment, with your communication, and what you do that nobody can ignore you. I think I'm going to make a podcast about that down the road. Get so damn good that they can't ignore you. But avoid these people at all costs and educate your patients when things like this happen. Because to end the story about what happened with that girl where she came in, she'd already been through so much. She'd already been through the ringer. And when I was actually talking real and giving her real answers, she didn't want to believe it because she's been lied to, she's been scammed, she's been ripped off. So she wants to go home and really think that it's all in her head. And that really sucks because she was in the right place and we can help. But the problem is there's so much bullshit out there that people can't get through. And we have to educate, we have to inform, but we have to be so good and communicate effectively so we can help as many people as possible. So that's all I got for today. I apologize for the language, but I really don't apologize for the language because I get fired up and stuff like this. And this is stuff that needs to happen. People need to hear this message. And if you're a pain science person and you think I'm full of shit, send me a message. I will set you straight and I will tell you where to go in the nicest way possible. So I appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. Going to be more active on this. I'm going to be sharing some stuff in the Facebook group. We're going to be doing 2 podcasts a week. One of them will be more clinical stuff like this. Later in the week, we're going to drop a podcast talking more about business stuff, because in my Facebook group, we get both. People want some clinical stuff, but they also want business. I am here as a resource because I want you all to join me on the journey to solve the pain pill epidemic once and for all and stay far, far away from the pain science people. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to the show. If you're a massage therapist and you want to learn more about our new methods that allow you to easily double your income without working any harder or getting burnout, we have some free resources for you. 1, join our Facebook group, The Soft Tissue Revolution. 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel. 3, request our free training series. 4, leave us a 5-star review and share this podcast with anyone else you know it can help. Links to all our channels and free training are in the show notes.